As Jake Paul, the feud between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford is escalating rapidly, as Floyd recently leaked a sparring session he had with Crawford before their fight when they met at Shakur Stevenson's training camp. Right now, Canelo is washed up at 35 years old.
I didn't even notice it at first, honestly. I want to see the replay. Like, I don't even know if I moved at all. But it was pretty fast. I didn't see it coming, so we'll
Floyd and Crawford have been clashing back and forth since the 50-0 boxing legend challenged Crawford to a fight, only for Crawford to decline and comment that Floyd was trying to take the spotlight away from him.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Take deep breaths when you walk. Take deep breaths. Right. Take deep breaths.
After further exchanges between them, Floyd took things to another level by posting a sparring session he had with Crawford earlier this year on social media. The two had visited Shakur Stevenson earlier in the year, and while at his gym, they sparred for a few rounds. It was never discussed publicly, and the pictures Mayweather and Crawford took there showed them in regular clothes.
Makes you think that you can be the fighter to stop him, and if you can't stop him, do you think you can stop him?
Yeah, for sure, I think I can stop him. I'm much quicker than him. He's much stronger, much bigger, but we all know that tall fighters is a taller fighter. A shorter person is hard to fight a taller person. So, while a taller person is hard, it's hard to fight a shorter person.
We made it smaller gloves just now today, so someone's getting put to sleep.
How's your mental?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just so happy to be here. I love all of this. Excited to get back to camp and just knock this guy out and prove people wrong once again.
But with tensions now high between them, Floyd Mayweather posted a 30-second clip of the session where he appeared to have the upper hand. His intentions were clear, to prove he was far better than Crawford, countering claims from Canelo Alvarez, Shane Mosley, and others. Mayweather's reflexes were sharp. In those few seconds, Crawford barely touched him while Mayweather countered with precise jabs. However, he deleted the video from X after a few minutes. But the footage had already spread, and multiple news outlets picked it up.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
Actually, it was Terence Crawford and his team who invited Floyd Mayweather to their training camp to better prepare for their challenge on September 12th. The boxing legend was invited not only to spar with Terence Crawford and observe his sessions but also to provide guidance and tips to help him edge closer to victory in September.
We know he's going to be definitely frustrated. You know, he's slower. You know, his arm reach not that much longer. We just got to wait and see until we get in there and test the waters. But I'm for sure, though, that he's decent and he's going to hold up for a couple rounds. But once it get hot in there, you know, I think it's play out.
In the footage released on social media, the two were first seen standing and talking by the ringside as Crawford and his trainers listened carefully to Mayweather's comments. Then, they were shown in the ring, with Floyd assisting Crawford on defensive details, stance, footwork, and movement before they began sparring. During the sparring, Crawford threw punches aggressively, trying to break through Mayweather's defense, which he managed at times. Later, he switched to fighting on the back foot, focusing on defending against Floyd's strikes.
Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake laying one good punch on Tank, it's over.
After their session, Floyd Mayweather was asked about his thoughts on Crawford's performance. He said, "Crawford is a hell of a fighter. He's one of the greatest of his generation, and he reminds me of myself and some of my opponents. I like that he's hungry and trying to leave behind a great boxing legacy."
Man, what do you think about it? Bruh.
Yeah. Lay it on me, Rolly. What do you think, bro? Come on.
I don't even know what to think right now. I don't even know what to think. Maybe some. Tank has an unreal boxing ability, and Jake Paul is really big. But the last time I said somebody was gonna be bigger, they weren't that much bigger. But I think in this case, somebody's actually a lot bigger. So.
Did you see the face-off? Like, he's a lot bigger. I know it's like 190.
The footage of Crawford and Mayweather created major buzz online as fans rushed to comment on how amazing it was to see two boxing greats train together. Crawford had a similar moment with Andre Ward before his previous fights. Crawford and Floyd training together looks incredible. I'm proud Crawford is taking the right steps, and I hope he wins on fight night. Canelo isn't ready for what Crawford's about to bring, one fan wrote. Another said, that ring is full of greatness. I honestly think Crawford would win if this ever became real. A third commented, Crawford should listen to Floyd to beat Canelo. He also needs insights from Bivol. Those guys know something others don't, it's their footwork and style. Crawford just needs to make this work.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It's just.
Another fan added, I like how top fighters are giving Terence Crawford the support he deserves. I believe he'll win this by decision, thanks to Floyd's help. However, things have taken a turn for the worse between the two. Mayweather, with his flawless 50-0 record, is considered by many to be the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. His impenetrable defense and ability to control the fight's tempo made him a unique spectacle. Moreover, his career achieved immense commercial success, with 4 of the 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in boxing history.
Buddy's always going to come in there 100%, and he's going to be on top of his game. He's going to be sharp, fast, strong. I think that's the thing that's going to surprise a lot of people with this fight is Bud power carries up. It's not just power that was just there for 147 or 140. His power carries up in weight, so I think that's the biggest thing that's going to surprise everybody.
Shakur, have you noticed that he's a step slower, and any downside to adding on a little bit of size with Bud?
I mean, I can't get into his...
Mayweather famously ended his career with a perfect 50-0 record, holding titles in 5 divisions and mesmerizing fans with a defense widely considered the best in the sport. He was also one of boxing's most lucrative stars, claiming 4 of the top 5 best-selling pay-per-view events in history. Speaking with Real Life Productions, Roy Jones Jr. was asked if Money Mayweather's record made him the greatest of all time. He said, no explaining further. Jones noted that there have been more impressive careers. You have to respect anything a person does to stay undefeated that long. I respect it to a degree, yeah. But is it 50-0 that makes him the greatest fighter ever? Nah. Julio Cesar Chavez went 80 at one point. 80. Can anyone top that number? He just didn't stop. Floyd got to 50 and stopped because of Rocky Marciano. Rocky died. If he hadn't, he probably would have kept going too.
Gio's World, facts. That's why Tank wants to fight Jake Paul. I'm telling you, he want to fight Jake Paul because he know if he climb in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, he's going to get zapated. He know it. They all know it.
Jones then specifically criticized Mayweather's farewell fight, a 10th round stoppage of UFC superstar Conor McGregor in his boxing debut. In the end, the debate over who is the GOAT will likely continue, fueled by the distinct accomplishments and philosophies of these two boxing icons. On the show, Floyd Mayweather was asked about Roy Jones Jr.'s claim that he deserved to be called the best ever more than anyone else. Floyd responded, well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I'm glad Roy Jones feels that way about himself. Every fighter who's given their whole life to boxing and sacrificed inside that squared circle should feel that way. So, if he feels that way, more power to him.
And like 109 point something his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He hasn't been only boxing for a couple of years. He's 12-1. Tank Davis obviously been boxing his whole life. He's 30-0-1. He's knocked everybody out except for 3 opponents in his life. But at what point does size matter so much, though, where it can't be overcome, Shakur? And is it in this case here when you've got what is like a 70-pound difference between these two guys?
I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but
I had one fight, and it was at a catchweight, but it wasn't my idea. Anyone can go online and pull this up, it's in an article. So, with Canelo, at one time I believe he thought I was scared of him. He said Floyd doesn't want to fight me, I'm willing to meet him at 152 or 152.5 pounds. I called his bluff and said, if you want to do it, let's do it at 152 or 152.5. But after Canelo made the weight, it wasn't like there was a clause preventing him from gaining weight. He weighed 152 or 152.5, then came in at around 168 or close to 170, while I came in at 151 or 152.
What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank, disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A.
But Roy Jones is one hell of a fighter. He's done a lot for boxing, and I'm absolutely proud of Roy Jones. Floyd Mayweather is often regarded as one of the greatest boxers in history. Over his brilliant career, he defeated numerous elite opponents, captured world titles across 5 divisions, and perhaps most remarkably, retired with his undefeated record, mental sharpness, and financial empire intact. It's no surprise he earned the nickname TB, the best ever.
Just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Is there any way you could, any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and say he's got good power. Not even, and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank.
Despite his accolades and flawless resume, not everyone believes the 5-division world champion truly lives up to the legend surrounding him.
It has deeply upset Stevenson, who is looking for legitimacy, not entertainment.
As discussions about Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones's feud continue across the airwaves, new sparring footage has surfaced from years ago showing the two in the ring, where Floyd reportedly rocked Roy Jones and got the better of him. Just as he's done before, it was Floyd who leaked the footage himself. He seems to keep a collection of sparring clips. Although Mayweather quickly deleted the video from his social media, it went viral almost instantly. Floyd had previously been involved in a similar leak when he shared sparring footage of himself with Roy Jones Jr.
Tank, it's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens. I can see it happening not too far in the future.
Really?
I can see it happening. I don't think, like, I think Tank will sign that contract.
Dang.
And I'm going to sign a contract too, so
then you're gonna get it on.
In the footage, Floyd clearly had the advantage, landing on Roy Jones Jr. multiple times while dodging punches with his trademark defense. That's what gave Mayweather the edge during the sparring session. Roy Jones was more active, throwing punches relentlessly, but Mayweather skillfully evaded most and absorbed the few that landed with minimal effect. It wasn't an overly intense session, but Floyd rocked Roy several times. Still, everyone in boxing knows sparring sessions are entirely different from real fights.
I think Tank is going through things that we don't know that he's going through mentally, so that's why I kind of like don't want to. I think that whenever I say something about him, it go viral and then they make it a way for us to beef or whatever.
Pile on.
Yeah, and it's more of like I ain't got to be friends with him, but I don't hate the dude, and I wish him well. I think that if he get his mental together.
Sparring serves many purposes, and a weak sparring performance can often indicate progress in specific training areas. Fans, however, wasted no time reacting to the leaked clip. One commented, "I now see why Roy Jones never wants to see Floyd." Another wrote, "So Floyd dominated a heavyweight Roy Jones in the past, and Roy still thinks he's greater than Floyd? He's not even at Canelo's level." Someone else added, "But Joel, no sparring means nothing, right? I'd only take this seriously if it were an actual boxing match."
That's it's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. Definitely might see it in a minute.
But despite what the video showed, another boxing superstar, one of the greatest ever, claimed that a prime Roy Jones Jr. would have finished Floyd Mayweather. The two legends have been going back and forth online, igniting talk of a potential super fight. A clash between them would pit two of the sport's greatest technicians against each other in a matchup that would captivate the boxing world. Their feud began when Roy Jones criticized Floyd, saying, "People always say Floyd would have beaten Sugar. No, baby. Floyd isn't nearly as mean as Sugar was. I like Floyd, he's cool, but it'd be hard for me to take him to beat Sugar. He'd have to change something. If Floyd did something different, maybe he'd have a chance. But the way he fights regular guys? That's not going to work with Sugar. Sugar's got a different kind of heart. We think Floyd's got heart, but we don't know, we've never seen him truly tested. We know Sugar's got one."
Ultimately, it's about like being in the ring with him, right? That's the main thing. He want to be able to say, "Look what I've done in the last 4 years, 5 years, or 5 years in boxing. I got to the top. I fought the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. Canelo Alvarez or Anthony Joshua. Heavyweight champ." That's just it. That's all he wants. He looking for clout, man. That's it. Clout at the end of the day. He know he can't beat none of those dudes.
But if he stepped in the ring with an Anthony Joshua, all jokes aside, would you, from the outside looking in, a former fighter, you know how dangerous this is, would you look and go?
Mayweather clearly didn't appreciate Jones's remarks. On July 6th, he posted several Instagram stories showing clips of Roy Jones Jr. being knocked out in past fights, a silent yet powerful response that poured fuel on the fire. In the aftermath, not only has Jones Jr. called Mayweather out for a fight, but many within the boxing community have weighed in on their beef. Terence Crawford, one of the best boxers in the world today, ranks high on the pound-for-pound list, having won world titles in 4 weight divisions and becoming undisputed in 2. Fans might wonder who Crawford admired growing up. He once said he never had a boxing hero, but when asked about his favorite fighters, he named Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr.
It's gonna be interesting to see, man. So
do we see the same when Gervonta rematches Lamont Roach?
Could be, yeah, because the styles make fights, man. And obviously, Lamont Roach, man. Look, anybody that can take a shot and that's tough, bro, and that can take it to Tank, they can beat him. All right, Roach, he mentally tough, had his game plan, was able to execute, was able to march forward in spots. He was able to control a lot of the action,
Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Wow, that sounds crazy. That sounds real crazy. But doing it in Atlanta was a very smart strategic move. Because one thing about Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta for a good 4 to 5 years, and I know one thing when it comes to us, anything that's popping in the city, they coming out. The city is coming out. So the city will be coming out. It's going to be packed. A packed house in Atlanta to come out. And, of course, support Gervonta. Because like I say, Jake ain't never in his life going to see a stadium so filled with black people in his life. You know what I mean? They coming out. It's going to be crazy, right? I see a lot of people in the comments, of course, they're upset.
Speaking with fans in Sydney, Australia, Crawford said, "I liked Roy because we had so much in common. He liked to fish, I love to fish. He loved dogs, I love dogs. He loved basketball, I love basketball. I relate a lot to Roy, so that's why he was, is, and always will be my favorite fighter." Floyd Mayweather's work ethic, what he did in the ring, not outside of it, was amazing. Meanwhile, Andre Ward, the man who started the debate with his question to Jones Jr., shared his thoughts in a July 10th interview with Fight Hype. "Oh, you're blaming me for that? Man, I'm getting blamed for this?" Ward laughed. "Me and Roy were just having a conversation, man. It's just fighters being fighters." When asked if he thought Mayweather and Jones would actually fight, Ward replied, "I don't think they're going to do that, man. You all know how I feel about those 3, Bernard, Floyd, and Roy, but Roy was my all-time favorite. I tried to emulate all 3, but Roy is my favorite fighter of all time. And that's all for now." For the latest news, moments, events, and stories from the world of boxing, stay tuned by subscribing to our YouTube channel and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss quality content like this.